Hello everyone, and welcome to episode 86 of Bardic Quest. In this week's episode, Saga and Johann come face to face once again with the presumably fake Elsa, as they begin their interrogation in the hopes of gaining some much needed and much desired answers. So without further ado, let's get into this week's episode of Bardic Quest. Johann and Saga.
Wait. Before we leave the tavern, Johann turns to Sildar and says, Sildar, mind the step.
Saga can't help but laugh at that.
He just glowers at you.
I cast guidance on Sildar.
Biggest mic drop moment.
I just say, you can do this.
Just took a gulp of water. I almost.
Do I burn heroism? No.
He looks less than impressed at all.
Oh.
You get a feeling that perhaps his pride has been damaged somewhat, as somebody who seemingly prides himself on his martial prowess has let the side down.
Thorik feels bad. He's like,
Side.
it's only a joke, Sildar. Sorry. You know, it was magic as well. You know, he was a slippery bastard. I tell you, in more ways than one. That wasn't a continuation of the joke.
Sildar
joke.
just quietly nods and continues to lead Johann and Saga towards the Townmaster's Hall.
Oh, I feel bad.
Watching
Easy mistake to make.
out the door. As Saga and Johann are walking, after Sildar, I'm guessing, Saga's gonna. She's not whispering it, but it is aimed more at Johann. A thought occurs: if there ever is a shapeshifter of some kind,
Mm-hmm.
and they look like me,
Mm-hmm.
just check for my shoulder scar. Then you'll know it's me.
I will. If you need to do the same for me, I have scars. I'll have to show you the exact constellation of them.
You know I've seen them.
Johann's like racking his brain, like I don't remember being.
At our first week at the camp, Thorik was
Yes.
Thorik was patching you up.
Yes. I see. Yes, we should. Johann's blushing. We should walk on. It's getting late. Come, Sildar. We haven't got all day.
Sildar just kind of grunts and rolls his eyes a little as you make your way towards the Townmaster's Hall, and he leads you in, and the hall in front of you, this large room, is still a little bit on the roughed up side. You can definitely tell that there was a fair bit of action here last night, and they're still tidying up a little. And you can see on the far right-hand side of this hall, what looks to be like a cupboard or perhaps a pantry of some sort, with two armored men outside. And Sildar approaches and kind of beckons the guards aside, and then opens this cupboard, which has got brooms and various other things inside, and most notably, of course, a bound Elsa, or fake Elsa, bound and gagged, sat on the floor of this cupboard. And Sildar looks to you, Johann, and he says, "She's all yours."
Johann looks to Saga and goes, "Before I begin, we are absolutely certain that this is the false Elsa."
To Sildar?
No. Absolutely not. I'm not talking to Sildar.
Oh,
I'm talking to
just
Saga.
checking. Just checking.
Shut up, Sildar.
Well, unless she's managed to swap places with the real one in the time we were in the tavern, then yes, I'm sure.
Okay. Johann, okay, I'd like to do an investigation check just to give her a quick once over, see if there's any obvious signs of magic. Probably either an investigation or an arcana check.
Well, it all depends on whether or not you're looking for signs of magic or something more mundane, I think.
I'll look for magic first, just to rule that out.
Do you want to give me an arcana check then, please?
I certainly will. I certainly shall. I certainly have. That will be a 14.
14. There is no sign of any magical devices or any sign of magic, really.
Something a bit more mundane, looking for like flaps of like a skin mask at the base of the neck, or like a wig.
Give me an investigation check then, please. A wig.
An 11.
No, you see no sign of any opportunity for a Scooby-Doo moment.
Oh, that would have been so cool. He performs a few tests of his own, like cuts off a lock at her hair to see if it changes color, and takes out a tiny little flask of holy water, throws a little bit on her skin.
Okay. So the holy water just kind of like splashes, and she doesn't necessarily seem to be in any pain or anything, more just annoyed at being splashed and sprinkled with water in the face. The hair, when you cut off some of the hair, it does shift from perhaps a red color to almost like a dark grey colour.
Dark grey, you say? He shows it to Saga.
You're muted, Annina.
What does grey mean?
This is her true hair. If it is indeed a her.
Ah.
Margaret.
Oh no.
Have you ever seen them in the same room together?
Yeah. Thorik and Sergei like in the corner with their tea, like, what are you doing here?
I drag Sergei out. Here you are. Get out. You're meant to be coming shopping with me. Get out.
I like put the hair in her face. Is she gagged?
She is.
I pull the gag off.
She just scowls at you.
We know you're not who you say you are.
She just kind of raises an eyebrow at you, kind of as if she's waiting for more.
It's going to get incredibly painful. You could avoid that by speaking. Johann's very persistent.
I'm looking deep in her eyes to see if I can notice anything.
You want to give me an insight check, please?
Ooh, that's a 16.
You're finding her incredibly difficult to read.
Okay. Time to get my tools out. It kind of like unrolls like a little thing. There's a hammer, there's manacles, there's a little mirror. Holds the mirror up to her, see if you can see any different reflection. Nope. Wooden stake. Tinder box. Right. Daggers. Okay. Here we go. Holy symbol.
He just chuckles at you.
Touches the skin.
No effect.
Nope. Okay.
What do you want, you beast? What do you want?
She looks at you and she just says, revenge.
On who?
All of you. She looks at you, Johann, and Sildar. And also at Townmaster Harbin Wester, who's sat at his desk at the far end of the hall, scribbling on it on parchment. He looks up and looks like shocked, and just kind of carries on scribbling on his parchment, and just kind of now with a more keen interest in whatever it is that you're doing.
Well, if we are enemies, show me your face. Are you a coward? Show me your face. If you're going to have your revenge, surely you want me to know who you are.
What's the angle you're trying to take here?
Baiting their pride. Like, you've told me you want revenge. Okay, come on then.
Do you want to give me a persuasion check, please?
Yes. Six. I said it so nicely, and my roll doesn't match it. Damn it.
You see a smirk appear on her face, and you think at first that this trying to appeal to this feeling of vengeance that she has doesn't quite land. And then you watch as the features of her face almost begin to mute themselves. Slowly her mouth disappears, her eyes turn white, and her skin turns this dark bluish grey colour, and the hair just completely disappears to leave this almost shiny blue grey skinned cranium, and these long she's just all this one colour of greyish blue colour, these long clawed hands and arms, as she just sits. And Sildar, you just hear Sildar go, "What the fuck is that?"
Johann goes to take his sword and just stands ready just in case.
So, what's your name, enemy?
He says, I am Virith.
Johann looks at Saga as if to say, I don't know a virus, do you know?
Saga just turns back to Virith and goes, I don't think I've ever seen you before. So, what heinous thing did we do?
She eyes you up and down, and she says, your mere existence is enough for me.
Oh, so what? A female who fights? You're just like every insecure man in a tavern I've met.
Do you want to both give me a nature check, please?
That's a dirty 20.
Nice.
12.
12. Johann, you definitely recognize this creature to be a doppelganger.
This creature is a doppelganger. I have read about her in the works of my order.
So was I right? It's some sort of shapeshifter.
He looks at Sildar. As if to say,
Sildar goes, all right, fine.
why are you here? Is this an abhorrence of humans thing?
She looks directly at you, and she says, not just humans, but all you folk who would judge me.
I started judging you at the point where you turned into someone else and physically fought me. Before that, we didn't have an issue. So, congratulations on your current position.
He says, when you have lived a life of judgment and fear such as mine, you will learn not to trust anyone.
She goes right up close to this thing and go, don't you talk to me about judgment and fear. You know nothing about me. I watched my entire town get razed to the ground.
And your parents too, right?
Yes. My husband stabbed my father in front of me.
And you sobbed.
Yes.
And then he took you and claimed you for his own.
Yes.
And that must have really hurt you, mustn't it?
My point is, my story isn't unique. Neither is yours.
And what was Elsa's crime? Because you have lived a life of fear, she must suffer, and you must steal her life and keep her bound in her own house?
He says, she turns her head to you, Johann, and she says, I will accept no judgment from you, you weak man.
Yeah, apparently she's inclusive of genders.
She says, you cannot even uphold the own ideals of your order, nor could you save them. You expect everybody to suffer their whatever justice that you and your order wish to deal out, simply because of their viewpoint of the world being different from your own. Of all of those of your party that would deign to judge me, you are the worst.
You're trying to goad me, creature.
So what should we do? Just die because you don't like us? Doesn't that make you exactly what you hate?
She says, I acknowledge my hypocrisy. But justice is about balance.
According to who?
She looks at Sildar and she says, isn't that right? And Sildar goes, well, I mean, technically, yes, but obviously your crimes have been quite great, young lady. He folds his arms and looks at her sternly. And he says, so if anybody's going to face judgment, it is quite rightly you.
So, apart from some twisted moral stance, why are you doing this?
What did you want with the map?
She says, we will find the Forge of Spells, and we will take control of this region and shape it how we will.
Johann grabs a hold of her bonds and holds her close to his face. Who? Who is we?
She just smiles and she says, does it matter, really? The point is, you've already lost. Because we already know where to go. And the Black Spider is already at the mine.
It's as we feared.
It's not surprising. You do know you're doing a madman's bidding.
She says, and who is the madman in that scenario?
The Black Spider.
What has the Black Spider promised you in exchange for your aid? Freedom? A new start? A life free of judgment and fear, perhaps?
Power, money, all the usual boring things. Getting to stomp and kill so you don't get stomped and killed. Is that
Johann,
it?
puts his sword in between the floorboards and, squats down so that he, eye to eye, and said, you wouldn't be the first powerful person that's come to you with promises of freedom, peace. You believe them. It's not fair.
Because whatever you do, you'll create more people who want vengeance, and this cycle goes on forever.
And where does that leave you? Exactly where you were before.
She says, except we have one advantage that you don't. We know exactly how many of you there are, and you have no idea how many of us are about. You have no idea how many times we have met. None at all.
What do you mean?
Exactly what I said.
Where have we met before?
Just playing games with you. Just lies. Don't believe it. It's all it has left, words.
She looks at you, Saga, and she says, I'm not sure even you completely believe that.
If I survive this far, I'll survive some little trickster with a box of tricks and high words. I've survived worse than you, and I will survive worse than you again.
And you will learn, creature, that 4 of us is more than a legion of you.
You watch as she shifts her form and she takes on the appearance of an Astriana.
Johann, to put this delicately, loses his composure and grabs her and punches the creature and is like, "Don't you dare."
Saga pulls him off. Don't, you're giving it what it wants.
No more lies, creature. You are not an Astriana.
He says, "No, I'm not."
We have never met before. You could not have fooled me with such a cheap trick.
Johann, it's playing you.
And she says, "You don't believe that, do you?"
Johann, look at me.
Where did we meet before, creature? If you taken on an Astriana's form whenever we met, where did we meet? You tell me that. Then maybe I'll believe you.
Johann. Look
He
at me.
says, "If I told you that, that would certainly eliminate some of the fun, wouldn't it now?"
Let's just kill it and be done with it. It's told us what we need to know. We need to make way to the cave and stop the black spider.
He says,
Sildar?
"Johann Hale, the man who took another's name. Trust no one."
I take my sword from out the floorboards. It's like... I look at Saga. What should we do?
Sildar? What
Aye?
do you want to do with it? With this?
Well, I think keep the thing locked up,
There we
probably
go, Johann.
increase the guard, and then, when I write to Neverwinter, then we will see what we can do about this thing as
Just make sure you write down what just happened, okay?
well. Oh, absolutely, I will.
Johann, let's go. And she kind of guides him out.
Wait,
But
before I go...
Johann, please.
Just one more thing before I go. He gives her, like, he points his sword right in her face and goes, "So I can recognize you next time," and gives her like a really deft slash and gives her a cut on her cheek, deep enough that it will show a scar, so that I can recognize you next time you show up.
And she just smiles at you and says nothing.
Let's get out of here. There's a stench in here.
Okay. Johann, not to rain on your parade, but it's a shapeshifter. It can probably get rid of stuff.
To be honest, I wasn't sure that would work, but I really wanted to kill it.
I understand.
I'm sorry, I don't mean to fly off the handle. It's just... I'm sick of being manipulated.
I agree. We can only trust you for a while. I think it's only smart we just trust each other, you know. Sergei, Thorik, us.
I never did thank you for coming to rescue me.
Of course. It's what we'd all do, right? It's what you did.
Johann starts to walk and talk. You know, before you met me, I would never have left the burning of the body to someone else. I think this is the first time that my friends mattered to me more than my mission.
That's good to hear.
Feels
You're my family now.
Come on, we're losing time.
You need to work on the talking bit.
Johann doesn't quite understand, but he's like, okay.
Let's go, Thorik.
So that's it for another exciting episode of Bardic Quest. We hope you enjoyed it as much as we did. Before we go, I just wanted to take a quick moment to say thank you to a couple of folks. First of all, I'd like to say thank you to James Webster for providing us with and allowing us to use this beautiful animated artwork that features throughout the show. If you are a fan of his work and want to show your support to him, then head on over to patreon.com/JamesRPGArt, where you can become a patron of his. But also I'd like to say a big thank you to our friends over at Sirenscape for allowing us to use their wonderful ambience, music and sound effects. So if you'd like to introduce those sounds to your table, head on over to sirenscape.com to check out their amazing work. So that's it from us this week, and we will catch you next time.